Good morning, and good evening to our Australian fella, Nath. What's up, Mama Bear? How you doing? Caitlin popping in to say hi. Private lesson, and then she's gonna bounce. Just coming in hot. David, good morning. Look at this guy. Nine plus t-shirt all day, all day. Nate, like I said, checking in from down the road, just down the street, couple hours away. If you want to hang out with Nate, it's no problem. Just hop a flight. You'll be there. It'll be nighttime. How you doing, buddy? I miss your face. I miss your. Does Nate smile? Yeah, Nate smiles. Cheeky little bloke. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Sorry, bud. But good evening. How was your day? Bye. Thanks for stopping by. That was a fun one. MP, what's going on? Mr. MP, always in the gym, always looking dapper. No, not dapper. That's wrong. Man, I'm full of bad words today. I am sorry, guys. Hopefully Jason comes on so I can take a break. I'm just kidding. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Doing well, tired, stress is mounting. To do versus to done is, yep. I mean, the move, the retirement, girl, you got it all going on. But yeah, good luck. p- Wishing you patience. Um, Taking one step at a time, right? There's always something to do. There's always something else to check off the list, but you always also got time. I mean, unless you're really rushed to get out of the old house. I know you guys are moving locations, right? If I'm not mistaken, states, time split, you'll get here and arrive at the same time. Yeah, exactly, right? Everything will be fine. Oh shoot, look at this guy. Look at this. Look at this guy. Vacation J is here, y'all. Are you guys ready for this? Are you guys ready for this? I'm not sure you're ready for this.
Let's go
Let's go.
in Arizona heat. It's so hot out. It's like living in a blast furnace all day.
Ah,
How, how do
right?
people how do people live here?
It doesn't make any sense at all, man. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah. How are you? Good to see you. Let's start with
I'm
you.
good, man. I'm good, man. So I was born in Arizona. My whole family, both sides, mom and dad's, lived in Arizona my entire life. And I want to say almost a almost like 98% of them still do. Like they're still all out there, every single one of them. And my mom was the one who moved us to California. And as a kid, I just never understood it because I never had that like family, like those huge family gatherings of like cousins and aunts and uncles and grandparents. Like we would go out every, Thanksgiving or something like that. And my parents were divorced, so I'd split sides. It was super, somewhat uncomfortable. Um, and as I got older, and I think as the world has actually gotten hotter and somehow Arizona's gotten hotter, now it's like the biggest thank you to my mom ever, like for bringing us to California and enjoying the best weather there is. Because yeah,
Yeah.
it's a nightmare out there.
I am. I mean, it is nice. Don't get me wrong. Especially right now. It's overcast. There's palm trees. It sounds like exotic birds around here. My uncle has a pool. We're right next to a golf course. Everything is great
Yeah,
except for the heat.
yeah,
Um, and I'm really trying to find the draw of what brings people here besides the palm trees and the exotic birds and the golf courses and the pool. Um, but besides that, it's been going great. Ryan just got here last night. He's still in bed. I'm sure he's adjusting to time. I finally adjusted my time. Now I'm on correct Dom time. Um, We got our dogs with us. The kids absolutely love the pool. So if it wasn't for the pool, it would definitely be different.
Yeah,
But
it's
so
one of those it's one of those states where it's like so I'm trying to think of like your state, but you can tell me, but like California, it for a while there, it was like a 50-50 or less mix of like homes that had air conditioning and then even less of homes that have pools. Like in California, in Southern California, it's like maybe, I don't know, 30% of homes out here have pools, maybe less. But in
mhm.
Arizona, it's like 90%, like 80% have pools and like 100% have air conditioning. It's like
Yeah,
those
I,
extra
I
features and
can't
they all come with it, like standard.
I can't imagine a house in Arizona doesn't have air conditioning. Um, There's one more thing I was going to say. I got out yesterday for a walk. That helps. It's like
Hmm.
being out in the heat early definitely kind of gets you used to it. And then now that we're in July, referencing today's reading, wondering if like one brother would be raised in Arizona and one brother would be raised somewhere else, how that would play out with heat.
Yeah.
Actually,
Oh, this is so weird. I'm seeing chat on Twitch that I'm not seeing on StreamYard. I'm like just seeing Mama Bear typing and that's it. And I'm like, who's she responding to? That is so weird.
I can only see the StreamYard stuff right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's not showing me David or Nath's stuff. I
Oh, I
know I
got.
know Mama.
I can see David's.
No, there's a couple more. I'm looking at the same thing.
Can I
It's a
show it?
bond singlet.
Can't
A
show it.
senior admin exec is retiring. He's a major type A person, and I'm a type Z. It's dry heat in the oven. Peacocks. I'm dealing with a type A this morning, talking them off the morning ledge. More drama than that was from David. And then Nath said, this one, the comment that I was like, what did Nath say? Nath said, shut the fudge up, you lot. Heat, warmth, and sunshine. Eat a big old bag of dicks. It's freezing winter here.
No, this is not a wrestling singlet. This is clothing, which seems necessary here. Is the less clothing. I've had a bathing suit on the entire time. Seems necessary for sure.
Oh man.
So, yeah. Besides that, family time's been great. Had a lot of great talks with my mom and dad. Um,
Good.
the drive down here, the drive was great. Um, I've been listening to podcasts the entire time, which is I found really great. I found a really good. I found another really great dad podcast that has really changed the way that I talk with Kristen. Actually,
Oh, okay.
it's less about kids, but less about kids, a little bit more about like marriage
Hmm.
and um, themes. A lot of themes I listen to are like keeping spark alive while you're raising kids, making sure you're into your own things, how to nurture yourself, all those kind of things that we talk about. But it was refreshing to hear it from a different perspective. And
Nice.
I just the drive time was great. I just like I had like a oh Ryan's here. Ryan just woke up. Um,
Oh, little
yeah,
sunshine.
just a lot of time to reflect and take notes on thoughts that I haven't really had time to uh, focus on in the past few weeks. So very valuable driving time.
So you just put a headphone in while you're on the drive and listen to a podcast?
Yeah, family's sleeping in back. Good morning, Ryan. Welcome. Let's see if Ryan jumps in here. Um,
So
but yeah, it was just really good reflection time for sure.
What time is it? Where are we? Where are we in the country?
We are in
good morning, buddy.
Pacific. Is this specific time? Is this what it is?
Specific. Is this
Yeah, Pacific time. You guys, I don't know if the chat realizes that they didn't actually have to pay for this, but they're getting Turner shoulders today. Like you guys are in for a treat. Like
Yeah, we're
look at
nailing
this.
shoulders.
There's too much sexy on this screen.
If we get some time, we'd love to hook up and get a little session with BroFits. I don't know how he works out in Arizona. I don't. I'm assuming that's why he's always in his basement. But
Fit.
It's his little garage. Like he turned a garage. I don't know if it's a garage, but he turned a little back room into a gym with it has air conditioning, 100%.
better have air conditioning or deals off for sure.
It has its own dedicated air conditioning, so he can put it at its own his own level.
Yeah. Since we have two brothers here, we can start talking about today's page if you want to. And I don't know if this really happened or not, but thanks for sending it along, by the way. Two dogs raised by the same person under different standards. One was raised as a hunting dog, one was raised domestically, and how they grow up differently. Ryan, any thoughts on that?
I'm still checking out the time right now.
Oh, it's 5:40-ish.
I didn't know.
Ryan needs more runway.
Well, I got up and I was like, I'm gonna go see if I can find this gym I talked about.
Oh yeah, we can go later for sure. Do you want to jump on here with me?
Yeah, I can next to you.
Cool. We're gonna set up a little double space here.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the reading, nature versus nurture. So everything's a combination, right? Our kids are going to be put in a different part of nature, and then they're going to be nurtured in different ways, even in the same household from two different parents. I think Ryan can speak on that a little bit based on what he's been going through recently. But that's kind of my thoughts on it. Our kids live in different parts of the world, so they're raised a little differently, mine versus yours. Ryan's definitely more city life. Jason's more country life. So I think your kids probably, and now they're together, right? So I bet you see little differences, right? But lots of similarities, even though they're across the country. What do you
Yeah,
guys think?
I would say there's some differences when they get together in the past for sure. I know Mama Bear's got a few kids. I think everybody here has at least two kids, except for Paul. Paul has one new kid, but I haven't seen Paul in a while. I'm sure he's somewhere. What are some things? Here's what I noticed. Sloane, specifically, Ryan's oldest daughter, super outgoing, and Ryan's referenced in the past that because she's raised, the idea that I always get is that because she's in the city, she's constantly surrounded by people, so she's super friendly, right? And then I would say like my opposite kid would be my middle daughter, where it's like she's like anything outside of her bubble is a no-go, unless she's like forced into it. But they also get along very well. What are your thoughts on that? What are your the thing I'm really impressed with, like once in a while, I can't remember the last time I went to go visit Ryan, but there's definitely a difference in how they're raised. Like Ryan and Lauren are definitely really good at like economical planning and packing, and their living space is like very organized because of the space that they have. And like they get around by train, right?
Yeah.
And Sloane seems like she can get on a train herself and just go where she needs to go if needed. BroFits is here. 3 dudes in Arizona.
I feel like you just made it sound like carnies. Be like, they don't have a lot of space. They do a really good job keeping everything together in their trunk, and then they hop on the train whenever it comes into town. And then they go from town to town, and they have a friendly kid. She's on the high wire.
They're a great circus family, these guys.
You could pack them up real nice and tight and just put them in your closet in Colorado, and they'll be fine.
Yeah.
I have a thought for sure about how, nature being such a strong indicator of where the base is that a kid's going to start from. Like when I could say something along the lines of, I think understanding our kid's brain first and foremost. Like Sloan has a different brain than my youngest daughter does. So you now are really starting from someone who is going to likely overanalyze many things, is going to want to second guess herself a little bit, versus my other kid who just will run through a brick wall while screaming at you. It's like there's definitely two different kind of kids right there, but I think that maybe my oldest would be similar in personality, temperament to your oldest. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, the oldest are definitely more open-minded to trying new things, and then the second definitely less so. Would you say that's how we grew up too? I feel like I feel like you were quieter, a little more pensive. I feel like I became outgoing sooner than you did, but then you turned into a deviant.
Yeah. Carney does what a Carney does. But
I did not make coffee yet. No. Oh, Dad's out here too. Should we get?
Did you make coffee, Jay?
I did not make coffee yet.
You did or not?
I did not make coffee yet. We got three. He's sitting listening. We're watching birds. We're soaking in the little coolness that we have here right now.
Yeah, you gotta get. This is Arizona's perfect for the early morning club.
Yeah,
You know.
it's really the only time.
I think I was saying this because I feel like our youngest would be somewhat similar in temperament. Very independent.
I don't know. I think Hazel. I mean, they still get along really well, but I think the question is, how do they grow up so different when they're born so close? And I'm talking about like siblings. It's like, how do they get so different, even though they were probably raised in the same manner? Like, why don't we have two Kiras, or why don't we have two Junies, or why don't we have two Hazels, or why don't you have two Sloans, or why don't you have two Dees?
I think because that nature side takes it, like the individual itself is there first and foremost. Because I was going to bring up this example. You stop me if it's not a good one. But it's the idea where I was kind of connecting our oldest are kind of similar. So like nature wise, they have the same kind of temperament, same kind of personality. Oldest, youngest. One instance is I know we went out to Colorado, go visit Jason and the family. We went into Denver. And in one area of Denver, there are some homeless people that are there. Seems to be somewhat by decision in some sort of way.
More than one area, but
Yeah.
yes.
But the way that your children reacted to these individuals versus my children, who were more used to seeing that,
I remember that.
was a very interesting thing. Where Sloane's like, oh, they're just there. Like she just accepted it. Where I think your kids were just like, I think trying to understand what it was. I think there's some fear there. There's some not understanding it. Not saying that my kids have a better reaction to it. They're just more used to it, right? So that is the kind of where like that that I'm gonna say more than nurturing side comes in, right? The nature side is kind of who they are. They're similar, but then the environment is something that our kids are kind of used to. I also see that with a lot of kids in like our neighborhood who Sloan goes to this very diverse school where kids come in from all over Brooklyn basically. And then like 3 streets over is like the neighborhood school, which is not diverse whatsoever. And so you can kind of see a little bit of some of the conversation that kids will have. Like I could argue that some kids in the other school, they have a different understanding of kind of like what the concepts are that they should be learning right now, versus I think more of the like the psychosocial kind of stuff that like her school is learning. It's just an interesting kind of difference between all of those. So yeah, the environmental side is huge, I think. But I think it's all starting from a base of that
Yeah.
nature side. Those are my
Um,
examples. So
Dad, you want to come jump on the screen with us?
Drink the pool water.
That's
You got
okay,
water?
as long as they're outside. I think there's water in a bowl there for them. We also have our dogs here too. One thing that I talked about with my parents here, I got like our first day here. I because of like the podcast that I was listening to, like it really built up this library of questions to talk to my parents about, even about raising like raising us. We kind of have the same conversations every time we get together because it's like maybe once or twice a year. And one conversation that I've always brought up is Dee Dee's here is because Ryan has talked about his middle kid experience. Sometimes I wonder, do I project Ryan's middle kid experience onto my middle kid instead of like just raising them the same? Like that's a thought that I've pondered quite a bit. Because it's like you raise one kid and like you find out what works and what doesn't. Dee Dee, hi, Dee Dee's here. Dee Dee's here. Hi.
Is there hair under your hat?
I cut my hair.
Oh,
You
okay.
cut your own hair?
Is there hair under your hat?
Just that one?
oh, the sides look short.
Do I need a
Looks
haircut?
like it's bald.
Ow.
No.
Oh,
Okay, good.
yeah. I've been cutting my own hair lately.
Where was
How'd
I?
you do it?
Yeah, middle
How'd you do
kids.
that?
Yeah, I'm just.
Feel like
I
it's
think the
like
question that I'm
70% skill, 30%
still
luck.
remains unanswered
I do
Is-
that.
at least for me, is how kids in the same
Yeah.
family turn out so different.
Yeah.
Who just said that they have twins? There was a twins quote in here.
Mom Bear.
David's
David's answered
aunt.
twins are different. Yeah, Kristen has a twin, and they are extremely different. But they were born like 3 minutes apart, and their childhoods after like the formative years seem to be extremely different in the way that they had their own experiences.
And Jason dated her also.
And I went on a date with her too.
I want to date with your wife.
And Ryan went on a date with my wife.
Did you really, Ryan?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Where'd you guys go?
Her basement.
Did you guys kiss?
Her base.
All right.
Kristen didn't tell you that?
Kristen never told me that. She just said that they hung out.
Oh, how about that?
In the basement.
Family story deepens. We're going to talk about this today.
We've got pretty deep with
And
our
I know
stories.
where
We have gotten deep. Yeah. Say it again, Dee Dee.
I know where you live.
I know where you live too.
Dom, is this your same take on the nature nurture stuff with you and your family?
Well, I like where you were going with so when I took the word nature, I took it as physical location, like actual nature. But I like where you were going with more along the lines of DNA, right? So you know your DNA is comprised of 2 parents, 4 grandparents, and I noticed for myself and my siblings that you get different traits. And for my kids get different traits from me and they get different traits from Amy. And it just makes the cocktail of the human that they are from the beginning. And you know they certain things get increased during the the early years of their life. So some get more engaged and some get less engaged, and it just I don't know. It feels like a random crapshoot to me. And then the nurture part of it is just like we said, you give them the same or what you think is the same. But yes, I see a little bit of what Jason was talking about, where like we project a little bit of the middle child syndrome on our middle child. And then I think she does it too. I think she knows enough now, to know that she's a middle child and that there are struggles that she is going through that the other kids don't quite understand. And so it kind of seems like it's intensifying itself, like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy almost.
Yeah, I
That-
agree with
that-
that. That's something I was like, like am I not, maybe doomed isn't the right word. It's like
Mhm.
No,
it's like am I trying to
Underwater.
not do that, and then in the same manner, because I'm trying to avoid that middle child effect, totally projecting it onto her,
Do you understand?
right? And then
Right
like
now
we've
it's
talked
not
in the
bad,
past
but when the
where
sun comes
me
out,
and Junie have
everything
had
gets hot.
talks where she just breaks
That's
down
when
and
they
she's
do
like,
that.
I feel like all the attention is being put on Hazel and Kira, and I'm just being forgotten. And like we've had that maybe twice in the past year, and I'm like, is that something that I'm doing from childhood or not?
A sweet
So
little girl.
yeah, it's
Now
always
that-
a question in the back of my head
When I
as
did
far
what you were
as
saying, and you were saying slowly,
why
and I thought you were saying
we
slowly.
why we parent differently, or
Mhm.
how do kids turn out so differently under the same household, under the same
Yeah.
conditions?
No,
I'd have to say in
No.
that position,
No.
the kid is
No.
going to be 100% right no
what
matter
did
what
you
they
eat
say.
on the plane coming here?
Yes,
If
their
it's
feelings.
a prophecy or
What did you
not, I feel
Peanuts,
like
maybe
No.
pretzels.
those words have to be understood. And I do understand the idea of, I think a child playing it up, using it as a
I know
tool,
who your mom
being
is.
attention seeking.
Laura.
But if it is in their mind, I think
This is
I'm not saying it needs to be
At
the depths of,
You
doesn't
can
have to be
put
as
a
serious
bag-
as every time, but I think it does
bag
need
or
to be
something, right?
right. The child's
Peanuts?
thinking it.
Oh yeah,
There's truth.
absolutely. Yeah,
Right.
it's not something that you. It's like no, we love you just the same.
No.
It's not that we don't love them different, but we definitely show each kid love and affection in 3 separate ways.
Okay,
You know.
what do you eat now? What did they give you?
I think maybe that's my answer. I guess is you do end up learning what each kid needs and then treating them differently through that, even though it all comes from a place of love and understanding.
Oh, okay.
Do you guys believe in that birth order stuff? Or do you think birth order is a really strong indicator of
What did
What a
you
kid
drink?
is going to
On
be?
the plane.
As like
What
if
did
we
you
just
get?
came through that, we just said birth order is going to
What they come around and
100%
you drink, right?
develop a child's personality. Because
Um,
then there's a whole question of like birth order and
Did you fly United?
relationships, marriage, which I
Yeah.
always think is interesting. Which I think that it gets a little bit, messy within that. But I think that the birth order does very much
Yeah, I knew
indicate.
that.
And we sleep.
Like we have to accept the fact. I
Did
think
you
that
sit near
if
the window
if we're
or by
talking
the-
birth
or in the
order and
middle?
birth order has any effect whatsoever on our kids, we have to accept the fact that then
A little bit.
nature plays a larger role.
Yeah.
First off, right?
I don't know if. Yeah, well, I think that could be true, but I also think that just because when your oldest kid gets to the age, you start teaching them these adult lessons. Like with Kira, you know, she's just started having her period.
Every dog is
Um,
a
You know, we have different
And
conversations around technology.
my sister
Um,
loves
Looks like a
dogs.
beast.
So it's almost like when your first kid gets to that stage where they can finally relate to these adult things that you've been living for like 30-ish years,
Yeah.
they get like
Yeah.
Kira definitely gets the most
You had a cat once.
Yeah.
eye-opening and refreshing
Yeah.
And we
entrance
used to
into
have
adulthood because she's our first.
Remember him.
Not because
I
she's
could take
born
care of
first,
her.
just because she's the oldest.
Remember?
I'm having a hard time separating that thought. But like I'm really excited to have these conversations with Kira about like how to handle relationships or friendships that aren't going well, how to handle
It's sad, but
like how to use technology responsibly. That's like a big thing that we've been talking about, and I'm wondering how that conversation is going to change when Junie gets
you threw balls
to that age as well. I'm assuming I'm going to say all the same things to her, but based on what Kira's experience was, that's probably going to be changed a bit.
Oh, they play golf here. I think I play golf.
1000%. I was just thinking about my kids. I'd be like I'd be talking to Sloan. I'd be like, son, I want to make sure, like, definitely protective on her end. Where like I'm gonna talk to DM, and I'm like, please don't hurt anybody. Please don't
It's like,
feel
just
silly about it.
stop yelling at people.
next to the pool.
So,
Oh yeah, I think we want to get
Dom, any last thoughts
No, go ahead.
with your 3 kids?
Logie.
I mean, mine for sure follow like what I feel like I've heard the natural of birth order is, and I don't know if that's, I think a lot of that has to do with nature, and a lot of that has to do with just nurture too. Like we just like you said, we're in different phases with Bailey being the oldest, so she gets to experience all the new things, and then naturally as like the middle child closest to her age, like Brooklyn sits in a little seat of like where she feels like she's in the shadow or in the back seat of both getting to do things and like our parental attention. And it's not on purpose or anything. It's just like I've told Brooklyn before when she's expressed this, I've just said that's just where Bailey's at. Like she's just she's just at that level. Like everything intensifies as you get older. Like it seems like you're doing more, but you have to do more. Like high school is just more involved. The everything after high school is it just seems like it comes at you like harder and faster in those ages. Whereas when you're younger, things seem to be a little bit more slow. So I think it just looks like Bailey's getting to do all this fun, fantastic stuff and she's getting all this attention. But in reality, like once Bailey's gone off to college or whatever is her next step, Brooklyn will enter high school and that same kind of stuff that's going on with Bailey now is going to happen to Brooklyn and she's going to get, a lot more attention, a lot more focus. And then Bentley will be in his more independent stage and, he'll need less focus. Like that's the other problem with being like in the middle is she then has Bentley on the end who's been kind of like needy in his baby stages and stuff like that and wanting all the attention too. So she just gets stuck in the middle, feeling like she's not getting anything from us.
Yeah, and that also brings me to that thought of, David, it's like, David, you're mentioning that your middle should have been the rebel. Hold on, I want to make sure I'm here for a second. David, you're saying that my youngest is the strongest and most focused. My oldest
Dad.
is struggling, and my middle
No, I'm talking to my dad.
should have been the rebel, but is more mature. I think it's kind of the idea, though. Was your middle child pushed to become more mature? Do they need to be more mature? Versus somebody else that maybe in the middle they were taken care of by the oldest. Like it just. I'm not saying. I think I'm just curious there in terms of how it is, and I can't help but project on some of that too. But also the idea of the birth order, and then I believe there was that thought of like every 4 years the birth order resets. What's that?
This is not supposed to be on my dress.
No, why not?
Because it can only be princesses.
Oh, what about the butterfly?
But
We'll get a new dress. Yeah, with only princesses.
I think it's great. I feel like a conversation of birth order, all that kind of stuff, and there's no should or shouldn'ts when it comes to that kind of thing. But I think that you can always kind of like backtrack and reason why someone is because of who they are by birth order.
Yeah.
So it depends on how you play it, but
It's just our little way of trying to make sense of the things that don't make any sense, which are people and personalities and how like you just said, like how kids just reset every couple of years. Like it's basically like I like to say it like the moment you get the hang of it is when the reset comes. And that's just life challenging you again.
Yeah.
Making sure you're awake.
the birth order thing kind of feels like very horoscope-like for a minute. It's like it feels like it's treading toward that like direction a little bit, but I think with like a little bit more meat to it. So good conversation. I'm sure we'll have more of that conversation here.
Yeah,
but
we'll see what format we use tomorrow.
I feel like I'm nervous about the heat and trying to get anywhere
The heat.
today.
Oh
I'm
man,
like rushing myself to get done what I want to.
the heat. This is the nicest time of the day. So
Yeah,
Uh,
it's the early mornings and then it's the end of the day, and everything in between is spent in either the indoors AC or the pool or just going back and forth between those two locations.
yeah, that's what it is.
Try to get out as early as you can and do any things that you want to do, like, you know, and then same thing, like wait till the sun goes down a little bit or is starting to go down, and hopefully you guys get some breeze going through there, but Arizona's not known for their wind.
Right now there's a breeze. I'm gonna go make some coffee because my dad's staring at me because he needs coffee.
I think Jeff made coffee.
Come on, Jason.
Um,
Do that before the show next time.
all right, I'm gonna go make hot coffee while hot coffee is still enjoyable.
Re-adopt you guys or not, Roger. And you can do the same thing with fathers. I've had a few.
Yeah.
I want different father.
I feel like marriage should be that way.
Marriage.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Stan's
why
melting.
don't we head out and
Yeah.
then we'll. But it's good seeing you guys.
It was good seeing you, buddy.
Love you all. I'm already one pre-workout in.
Oh, you want
Ready
to
to go.
You want
Ryan's ready to run to the gym and go through the brick wall behind him.
Guess we're going to the gym.
All right, guys. We'll see ya.
Get it done, boys.
Bye.
See you guys.
Going to the gym.
All right, everybody. I just had to move them off. But thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for hanging out with us. Really appreciate you guys. It was good to see Ryan again. Good to see that family. A little bit of background noise, but it was good. So I hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back again tomorrow. Same time, same place. And yeah, hopefully the boys will join us. All right. Bye everybody. Where's that music? There we go.